Hey folks, it's Tom with Grow Your Heirlooms. Today I'm starting my radishes that I'm going to grow inside. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, why are you outside? Well, the thing is, I don't like to mix my soil and do all my planting and stuff indoors. I do it out here and then I take it inside. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to pick your variety. Which variety of radish are you going to be growing? Now, there are some really large varieties, and I don't grow those in these pots because they just get too big. I like to grow kind of the medium one. And this one here is called a Saxa, S-A-X-A, and they've done well for me before, and they're just the right size for these pots. So now, of course, the second thing that you want to do is pick your pot. I always use these rectangle grow pots. They're just perfect. I think they're 5 or 6 inches deep, and they work perfectly for radishes. And I also, now you don't have to, a lot of people just use these the way they are because they don't come with holes in the bottom, but I punched in about 6 1/8 inch holes in the bottom, and I bought the trays also, so I've got a bunch of these with the trays. And so I like to use the trays to kind of give it lots of drainage. Now you know, like I say, they don't come with holes in them, so you're gonna have to punch them in, and I don't know why they don't come. I suppose there are some people that grow things in these trays that don't need drainage. So okay, so that's the next thing. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to pick your media. Now I use a combination. I use like about 1/3 compost, 1/3 potting soil with a little bit of sand mixed in, and 1/3 probably a little, I'd say about 1/3 of vermiculite. I use quite a bit of vermiculite, and I know 1/3 vermiculite is quite a bit, but the reason why I do that is because I like them to be able to pull out easy. I don't like them, you know, in there, you know, and stuck into the soil, and you pull them out and they're all dirt. And you know, I like to give them a little bit of room to expand. And the vermiculite holds moisture, but it doesn't keep the radishes stuck in the dirt and hard, and I think they grow a little bit better with that vermiculite in there. Now I know that there's no nutrients in vermiculite, and there are a lot of people that say, well, if you gave it more compost or more potting soil, they'll grow better, and I haven't found that to be the case. You might have a different opinion on that, but anyways, I take and I put my media in here and I soak it down really well. I make sure that it's nice and wet, and I get it soaking to where the point it starts to run out the bottom, and then I know it's well moistened. Okay, and then I take my radish seeds, and I'm not too careful about how I place these because I like quite a bit of them in here. And as you grow these, you can actually wait on these to thin them out. Now a lot of people just say, well, I just need to thin these out right away, and then they start pulling them, and then they've wasted some good radish. What I do before I thin these, unless they're really right up close, butted up against each other, I don't yank them out until they start to grow. That way I can get some baby radishes out of them. And so when I thin them, I've got some radishes that I can eat, so that I'm just not taking these little greens and tossing them. So I'm pretty liberal with my spacing on these. I put quite a few in here, and just kind of, you know, throw them around. And you don't have to be too careful because, you know, as we all know, not every one of these is going to germinate. So so there we go. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is cover it with a little bit of soil, the same mix that you have. And I just barely cover these. I know that probably if you look at the seed pack will tell you how deep to plant these seeds, but as with anything else, I just barely cover the seeds, because if I need to, I can always come back and kind of mound up a little bit of dirt afterwards. But the mistake that a lot of people make, and you know, it's very common, is that they plant their seeds and then they wait and they wait and they wait and nothing comes up. And I think one of the culprits is that people plant their seeds too deeply, and the seeds can't make it up through. They don't have enough energy, and so they end up rotting. Okay, so that looks probably good. Now one thing about radishes, they will, when they start to grow, they don't just grow beneath the soil. A lot of times they will push up. And so you'll look in here and you'll have some of your radishes, you got like a 1/4 inch or so above the soil, and that's all right. I mean, what I do is when they start to grow, I do come back and I take a little bit more of that when they start to grow, and I do put a little more dirt around them. That way the radish is kind of under the soil. But anyways, okay, so then I just pat this down just a little bit, not too much. And then I go ahead and I and then I water them again. Now I just missed them with my pump sprayer, but you can use anything that you want. But I like the mist sprayer because it doesn't disturb the soil. Because the only thing that I'm doing is I'm just saturating that little 1/8 inch of soil that I put on here, or 1/4 inch or whatever I put on there. Just want to soak them down really good. And radishes are great to grow inside because they don't take a long time. Within a month or so, I'm going to be eating radishes. Well, actually, when I start thinning them, I'll be eating them a lot quicker. But okay, so you soak them down really good, and then I just kind of wipe off the edges. Now, you want to create, just like all seed starting, you want to create this little mini greenhouse effect. And a lot of people will take and, they'll try to simulate those little grow domes that you buy, and they'll take some, saran wrap or whatever, and they'll take and cover this with that, and then put like a big rubber band around it, or somehow try to keep it on. What I do is, I have a bunch of these. I buy these big sheets of plexiglass, and I've got dozens of these. And the reason why I use these is because I can use these over and over and over and over again, and I never have to throw them away. Well, unless I step on one or something. But anyway, you take these and you just set it right on top, just like that. Okay? And then you just take a label and you stick a label on there and the date, and you're good to go. And I'm going to take these inside, throw them under my lights, and within a few days they should be coming up. And I'll give you guys I got a grow room tour coming up in another day or two, and hopefully these will be up out of the soil by then. So, alright, well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all later. Be sure to stop over to growyourheirlooms.com, where we have podcasts, gardening Q&A, tips on year-round gardening, survival gardening, and current projects that are going on.